This is the Morning Swim Show for Tuesday, September 8th, 2009. I'm your host, Peter Bush. If you're in the U.S., hope you had a nice three-day weekend. If not, well, I hope today's show gets you through the day. We're going to talk to Misty Hyman, the Sydney Olympic champion in the 200 fly, and the woman who made underwater kicking famous. We'll find out what she's been up to since she stopped swimming. That interview in just a couple minutes. But first, the news. Thomas Loers won his fourth World Cup victory in a row on Sunday after swimming a brilliant race in the waters outside New York City. Here's a map of the course. Loers said afterwards it was a true open water swim. Large swells, very choppy water. One swimmer was even tossed onto a rock in the middle of the race. Now back to Loers. He made his move on the fourth and final lap, came into the New York City harbor first ahead of Vladimir Dyachkin from Russia and America's Fran Crippen. On the women's side, Brazil's Poliana Okamoto is well on her way to win the women's overall FINA World Cup title with her fourth 10K title of the season. But this victory did not come easily. She was pushed by 15-year-old Eva Fabian of New Hampshire. In fact, Fabian had the lead until the very end when Okamoto caught up and won by just a half-body length. All right, back to the pool. At the Japan University Championships, Rie Kaneto smashed the Asian record in the women's 200 breast. She clocked in with a 220.72 to become the fourth member of the 220 club. And Guillermo Guido lowered his South American record in the men's 100 back at the Jose Finkel Trophy meet. Guido's new continental record, 53.24. For more news from all the aquatic sports, just go to our website, swimmingworld.com. All right, we'll take one quick break, and then we're back with Misty Hyman.
There's a reason for the sunshine sky, and there's a reason why I'm feeling so high. Must be the season.
You get more power and more space. The world gets fewer smog-forming emissions. The third-generation Prius. It's harmony between man, nature, and machine.
And welcome back to the show. Today we have a very special guest, Misty Hyman. For the past 4 years since she retired from the sport, she's been living in the Caribbean, working on her tan, and then, well, maybe not working on the tan so much, working on her master's degree in Switzerland. So Misty is back in Phoenix, Arizona now, and she joins us now on the show. Misty, welcome to the Morning Swim Show.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks for having me.
All right, so fill us in on the past 4 years or so.
Sure. Well, I've been having a great adventure since I retired from swimming, and I lived on St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands, where I worked at a resort. And I lived there for 3 years, and then I went to Switzerland to study for my MBA in hotel management and finance. And someday I'd like to have my own wellness resort.
Are you still involved in swimming at all?
Absolutely. That's been one of the best parts about being back in the States. I am working with Mutual of Omaha in their swim clinics, part of their gold medal team, as well as the Fitter and Faster Tour that's coming to a city near you very soon. In fact, we're coming to Phoenix September 20th and Tucson September 19th, and we'll have several Olympians and medalists there, so kids who are out there in Phoenix, sign up soon.
Very cool. And I understand you've got a big open water event coming up in the Caribbean as well.
Right. I'm really excited. When I lived in St. Croix, one of the reasons I found out about the beautiful island is because I went down the first time for a 5-mile ocean swim race called the St. Croix Coral Reef Swim, and I've been doing the swim ever since for the last 5 years. And this October 18th, it's on a Sunday, we're going to have our 13th 5-mile coral reef swim, and this will be the second year where we offer a 2-mile swim. It's one of the most beautiful swims you've ever seen. Warm water, turquoise blue water, and just a lot of fun. And really the swim is what led me to actually live there so long, as I just fell in love with the island and the ocean there. And when I lived there, I would go scuba diving once a week, and every Saturday I would go swimming we had a group on island that would swim 1 to 2 miles in different spots around the island. And it's just amazing. So I really want to promote that race. It's a fantastic race, and recommend it to everyone.
How about you getting back in the pool? I mean, people like Dara Torres have proven that ladies can still do it late into their 30s and 40s. Do you ever think about it?
That's true. do, and Dara is very impressive, along with a lot of the other athletes that are staying in the sport longer, which I think is awesome. For myself, I do miss the racing, but I've really enjoyed the adventures that I've had since swimming, and so I don't think I'd trade those right now, and I don't see myself getting into train anytime soon, but when I watch the meets on TV, I do get a little itch for it.
Do you find that people remember you more for that memorable moment in 2000 when you stunned the world and won the gold in Sydney, or for the way you sort of revolutionized the underwater butterfly kick?
Wow, that's a great question. It's hard to say, honestly. I think most people do remember that race. That was kind of a fairy tale moment for me and I think for everyone else. And so I think I'm mostly remembered for that. But I still get some comments about the underwater and the 15-meter rule, and people remember that there was a time when we used to go past that 15-meter mark. So.
Oh, I vividly remember I think it was the Summer Nationals, maybe 96, something like that in Pasadena, and that was really your breakout summer, and you were going 35, 40 meters underwater, and some people thought you were nuts, but obviously it worked out.
It did, thank you. Yeah, those are some crazy days and a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that, and I did, my coach Bob Gillett and I did a lot of work to develop that underwater, and mainly because we felt like I was faster underwater than I was on the surface, and so it really paid off for me, and I really think that the underwater kick, it was what helped me to become a national and a world-class level swimmer. And when they changed the rule, it was tough, but as most things that you think are hard at the beginning, they usually end up being blessings in disguise. And so I think when they changed the rule, it forced me to become a better surface swimmer. So when I went to Sydney, I had both weapons, the underwater and the surface.
Who is your favorite swimmer to watch today?
Ooh, that's a great question. I love watching them all, I really do. Of course, Michael, he's making history, and that's been fun to watch his progression. Of course, he was 15 years old when we went to Sydney together, so it's been incredible to watch his journey. And Natalie, a fellow Bay Area resident up there at Berkeley, it's been fun to watch her progression and see how successful she's been. But even the up-and-comers, it's fun for me because there are always new faces, people I don't know anymore, and everybody's just getting faster. So I'm really excited to see that.
Well, Misty, it was great to catch up with you. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Best of luck with the open water event and with everything you're involved in.
Thank you so much, Peter.
All right, that's Misty Hyman joining us here on the Morning Swim Show for the first time. Ecstatic to have her on, and that is it for the show today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. I'm Peter Bush, reminding you to keep your head down at the finish. The issue of Swimming World magazine focuses heavily on the 2009 FINA World Championships, where 43 swimming world records were set. China lost its dominance in diving, and the United States women's team repeated as water polo champions. On the cover is Germany's Paul Biedermann, who shocked the world by breaking records in the 200 and 400 freestyles. You can read more about Biedermann's swims and others from Rome starting on page 7, where Jason Marsteller recaps all 8 days in the pool, the drama in open water, and the big stories in synchro swimming, diving, and water polo. High school swimming is another large part of the September issue. Jason Marsteller writes about the Baylor School's narrow victory in the mythical National High School Championship, and Dan Albano details the strategy that led to Saratoga High's first boys national championship title. And to round out our high school coverage, the list of this year's high school All-Americans begins on page 43. A retrospective of 50 years of Swimming World magazine looks back at the years 1989 to 1992 and compares the individual medley dominance by Tomas Darnier and Michael Phelps. Master swimmers can find some good training tips from Carlin Pipes-Nielsen and Chris Colburn in our Swim Magazine section, and Coach Ryan Malum talks about his training philosophies for college swimming in our Swimming Techniques section. And we round out the magazine this month with a profile of our age group Swimmer of the Month, Jackson DeFore. Premium subscribers get extra content in the digital issue of Swimming World magazine. Every embedded link will take you to results and other features that you can't find in the print edition of the magazine. If you're not a premium subscriber, you can upgrade by going to swimmingworld.com and clicking on the subscribe button.